super excited.
Now, I hate to do this. I didn't hit record. So I'm so sorry. Let's just do
No
this first
worries.
time.
Yeah.
This is the first time this has been done, so I'm new to all this as well. Zoom has basically not been touched, so
Oh,
cool.
you should have seen me.
Oh shit. Oh, no. Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in the Online Footprint Project. I'm your host, Ross McFarlane. Thank you so much for investing your time with us here today. So we've got a superstar on today. Bodei is actually a public speaking specialist. She works in the corporate space and she actually works in storytelling. So yeah, thank you so much for coming on the show, Bodei.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. My pleasure. So, yeah, I'd love to hear how you got into, say, yeah, storytelling in the corporate space, because for a lot of,
Mm,
those listening at home, working in the digital world, very different in the corporate space. So it's really a unique perspective on business.
yeah. Yeah, it really is. I have a background in theater and a background in business, so business education. So I really just combined the two.
Yeah.
So I have quite a theatrical approach to the whole corporate storytelling thing. About 4 years ago, I was asked to participate as a student. I was still in college, and I was asked to participate in an event where we had to work on a concept in multidisciplinary teams. And at the end of the 4 days, we all had to give a pitch about our own about the concept that we've been working on. And there were 10 teams, and 9 of the teams were basically presenting something like this. So this was the problem, and then we started working on it, and then
Yeah.
we came up with this idea, but that wasn't really working, so we had to come up with something else.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I
that
love
was
it.
9 presentations, 9 pitches, and then I came on and I had written a eulogy, and I just gave a basically gave a funeral speech. It was about advertising, and yeah, we figured that advertising was dead or at least dying. So
Okay.
that was
Yeah.
what my pitch was about. So it was, dear advertisement, I stand here with many feelings, and you were like a brother to me, teasing me when I want to watch YouTube videos, and you were quite the prankster. I'm sure you were laughing so hard for the poor suckers falling for your enlargement pill pranks and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I love it. Well, it's such a unique take
Yeah,
because, yeah, I mean, advertising, I mean, I certainly, I would have to disagree that it's dead, but it's definitely shifted. It's been such a huge change in the last few years. So it's fantastic to do something like that. And it sounds like it would have been a lot of fun as well.
oh, it was so much fun, and people really digged it because it was just very, very different from everyone else. So within a week, I got 4 requests to give workshops on storytelling. I was like, well, sure, I'll come give a workshop.
Why not? That's cool.
So and more requests came after that. So I figured, oh, I'll start a company then.
Yeah,
So
no, that's
that's
fantastic.
how I started the story clinic.
Because not a lot of people, actually, I don't think anyone in the group knows about me that when I was a kid, I actually did acting lessons, and I found that was a lot of fun. I was like, I want to be on TV, Ma. So, we did lessons and kind of didn't go anywhere. But I mean, I guess now I've got my own space. So
Yeah,
call it a community channel. Yeah.
you're doing great. Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you. But
lovely
yeah, I mean,
stuff.
that's awesome. Like, so really from there, so from the acting, how did you then progress into, so you said you were going to start your own company. So what was kind of the light bulb moment, or, was it kind of just more of a regression that you kind of warmed up to the idea over time and kind of just one day just pulled the trigger?
Well, I'm from a family of entrepreneurs, so starting my own company was always the logical thing to do, I guess.
Yep.
So both of my parents are entrepreneurs. My brother is an entrepreneur. He'd already started 3 different companies, started and quit again and
Nice.
started again,
Yeah. Standard.
especially because, exactly, especially because I was still a student. I I didn't feel the pressure of having to make a living or anything. I was just, yeah, okay, let's try this thing out and see where it goes. Well, there we are, 4 years later,
Yeah.
and now fully remote. Yeah,
Yeah, that's awesome. Because, I mean, we're saying remote. So are you in Colombia at the moment? Is that correct?
yeah, in Medellin, in
Yeah.
Colombia. Yeah, I've been here for
That's
about
awesome.
4 months now.
Yeah, wow. So you've got the travel bug then?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Yeah,
It's
that's
it's
great.
pretty addictive.
Yeah, I know. Once you get that itch, you just got to satisfy it.
Mm,
It never ends.
I know.
Yeah,
I know, and people who don't have that, it's impossible for people who don't have that wanderlust. They will never understand.
Yeah.
But if ever gotten that taste of traveling like this, oh yeah,
Yeah.
there's no
In
way.
saying that though, some just I have a few friends that had never been overseas before, and then they
Mm,
did do it, and they're like, "Wow, this is amazing! I want to do this more." So
yeah,
I guess just it comes down to a few different variants. But yeah, if someone has never been traveling before, then absolutely recommend just going somewhere, even if it's a country that's very similar to your country. It's still something new.
yeah,
Yeah.
and especially go alone. Go alone for a change. Just, do it and make new friends and see how easy it is to meet new people and get all kinds of exciting experiences when you're traveling alone.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's one of those things that you can do it, and it doesn't have to be for X amount of time. Like back in September, I've got a partner. We've been together quite a while, but I went
Mhm.
over for business. I went well first to visit my dad in Thailand, and then to the Philippines afterwards. And
Yeah,
she was very supportive of it because it was really it was mostly business trips. More just went there, but still made heaps of friends, and it was great. So it doesn't have to
yeah.
be like an 18-year-old thing where you just travel the world and find yourself or whatever. You can still just responsibly enjoy yourself. I love the fact it was like $10 massages every day and buffets for, like $8. It was
I
so
know. Yeah, and for, it doesn't always have to be the whole party thing. There's really no reason I should have friends because I don't drink, I don't eat meat, I don't take drugs, and there's no reason for me to have friends really. But still, I enjoy traveling a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
and
yeah, I mean,
it
in the
feels so
Philippines,
much fun.
I
It's
didn't
more
drink
than that.
anything. Yeah, I think I had one beer that entire time I was there. So I wasn't there long, but, I was there for I think it was over a week. So, yeah, I mean, I didn't drink anything while I was there. So, yeah, it doesn't have to be like a party trip. You can really just go and
No,
enjoy the experience. And there's
exactly.
so many places I still want to see. Where's the place you've loved the most so far?
Oh, well, this place is amazing. I am ready to get out of the city by now,
Yep.
but Medellin, it has really been great. It keeps staying. I keep not leaving really. So I've been here for 4 months. I came here for a month first, and then maybe one more. Yeah, I'll stay
Yeah, maybe
one
a little
more.
longer.
Oh, I can extend at least one more month.
Yep.
So yeah, I've been 4 months now. It's a really really good place, and it has a really good digital nomad scene. Loads of people around. Yeah,
Yeah, that's awesome. So how with
um,
with the corporate space? So obviously,
yeah,
being a digital nomad and living the laptop lifestyle, with
yeah.
running, within the corporate scene, is more you just have contacts and you fly back, or is it more that it's all done through the online space? How does that work?
Most of what I do is done digitally. Yeah,
Cool.
so I have a bunch of different things I do. I'm starting a 20-week program on Wednesday,
Nice.
so that is just all online, 20 weeks long. It's webinars and online course stuff, and so that's all online, and I was surprised myself with how well that's going, actually working with my clients online, because
Yeah.
I'd never really done anything online. But I didn't, most of the time I didn't even have a working website,
Okay.
honestly, before
Yeah.
I started traveling.
Yeah.
Everything was word of mouth and recurring events, and working for universities where I could come back every semester.
Yeah.
But
Awesome.
yeah, it's actually been going really well. It's fairly easy to do, so that's perfect. And every now and then, I've done some workshops here, which is fun. As a corporate storyteller and just a storyteller in general, and a theater person, of course, I'd love to be in front of a group and have that direct interaction with the group. So I wouldn't miss that for the world. So yeah,
Yeah.
I've been organizing some workshops here as well
Yeah,
locally.
cool. No, that's awesome. Well, after this, once I upload the video to the group, if you can make sure you drop all the links that you can, and once you do launch everything soon, then
Yeah,
come back to it and drop those links as well, because that way you can help everyone with their businesses too. Because I know a lot of people were looking forward to this interview, and as much as we're not doing it live and it'll be uploaded, at least I've got the questions here. So if
yeah,
anyone does have questions, then running through. But I mean, I think we are getting a few, so that's a good sign.
yeah. Bring it on.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I mean, really, it's from there. So with how is it that what is it you do exactly? Because obviously you've got a lot going on, and it's fantastic. You've got a lot of energy, and no doubt you've helped a lot of people. But how would you specify what is it that you do, so then that way others can get assistance through your work?
Yeah. Yeah, so basically, the first thing I guess you need to know about my view on storytelling and public speaking is that there are three elements to public speaking.
Yep.
So, really boring presenters only use element number one. And then you have the good presenters, they use element number one and two. And
Yep.
then only the great ones use all three of them.
Cool.
And then number one is content. Content is just basically the information that there is. So let's say you're going to give a presentation about cats. You know two things about cats. Cats love tuna. Cats hate dogs. Then you go on stage and say, hello, well, welcome. Thank you for having me. My
Yep.
presentation is about cats. Cats hate dogs. Cats love tuna. Thank you very much. Are there any questions? You know, shitty presentation. No
Yeah.
interaction, nothing interesting about it. Then you have number two, and number two is technique. So this is what most good presenters have really trained for. How do you use your voice? How do you use your body language? All of those things. So technique really is everything that's happening in and around your body.
Yeah.
So good presenters have really worked on this, have really focused on this. Intonation, tone of voice, body language. What the heck do I do with my hands? No one ever knows what to do with their hands.
Yeah.
They seem very useful when you're not on stage, but once you get on stage, they're just in the
Yeah.
way all the time. Yeah, so that is number two, that's technique. And number three is form. And
Yep.
only great presenters have also incorporated form. So form is really, how do I bring everything together from the start to the end? How does everything come together, and how do you make everyone hang on your every word and remember your story afterwards?
Yeah.
So that is where the story happens. And for me, what the story is everything that happens between the bullet points.
Yep.
So your bullet points, that's just your content. That's just your boring stuff. Yeah, okay, your facts.
Yep.
Lovely. Everyone can do that. Everyone can go on a stage and just give us a bunch of bullet points. But the story is what happens between them. That's where you want to focus on.
Yeah.
So that's really the basis of my view on public speaking and on storytelling in that sense. So that's super important, and that's not something that people generally think about. Okay, yeah, I have some content, I have some bullet points, I'll go and present them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. No, that's fantastic. Some, real value there, because I mean, it's great to have structure, but unless you can link it all together to keep the audience,
yeah,
keep the audience's attention, then really, halfway through, they're going to get super bored. So, I think that's fantastic.
exactly,
Yeah. No, awesome.
exactly.
So, Drew's actually just come up with a question for us, because
Oh,
everyone
nice.
was, thinking we were going live. So I was like, nah, post them in.
Yeah,
So, yeah, really, he was wondering, what's a good technique to get yourself centered and positive before going public, or before, say, going live, for a
yeah.
live, which is still public speaking in itself.
I agree, absolutely. Yeah, so before going on, it's all about positivity and all about energy. Really hyping yourself up, getting yourself in the zone for that. And language, and the language we use in our own head, and the language we use to talk to ourselves, is extremely important. You have no idea how much of an influence that language has on how you feel. So if you tell yourself, oh my God, I don't know if this is going to work. Oh my God, are they going to believe me? Are they going to trust in me? No, that will just get you nervous and make you doubt yourself. And if you doubt yourself, why the heck should anyone else believe you, right?
Exactly.
Honestly.
Yeah, very good point.
So, so really keep that positive energy and give yourself those really overly dramatic good vibes and good words. I'm going to do this. I'm going to rock that stage. Everyone is going to love it. You really want to go there and,
Yeah.
take that moment just to be with yourself and be alone and be ridiculous, because, it feels really uncomfortable if you have to do that in front of other people. But really just go there. Just do that, because the language that you use to yourself has an incredible impact.
It does, and it's surprising because we don't think that it does, but it really there's so much. If you're speaking positively to yourself, it can actually have such a huge impact on your emotional state
Yeah,
in the next hour or two. Whereas if
it
you're
really
constantly negative, it's going to really bring you down. It's going to bring down your energy and things like that. So it's fantastic to be able to do that. And it does seem silly to be like, yeah, you got this, but it works.
Yeah. Yeah, it feels super uncomfortable
Oh,
at first.
absolutely. Super awkward.
But yeah, but definitely go and watch Amy Cuddy's TED Talk if you haven't, because there she talks about fake it till you become it rather than fake it till you make it, fake it until you become it. So really just tell yourself those positive things over and over and over again until you start believing it. And once you start believing it, you start being it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So, and she has this amazing TED Talk about it. And speaking of body language, because that's what her TED Talk is about, it's relatively easy to fool your brain with your body. So having confident body language, shoulders back, head high, chin up, that will already make you feel exactly.
Yeah.
Well, don't
If you can look.
don't push it.
If I go
But
too down, you see too many of my chins, so I got to keep it relieved.
yeah, look at all my chin. Yeah, no, having that confident body language and maybe overdoing it just a tad, putting your feet just a bit further apart than you would maybe do naturally.
Yeah.
That will already fool your brain into thinking that you've got this and that you're actually really confident, which you're probably not. But
Yeah, absolutely. Especially it's the
but
first.
everyone,
Yeah.
everyone is scared at first. Public speaking is a really fucking scary thing. Let's face it.
Yeah, it's so
It is.
different. Yeah, absolutely. You don't want to screw things up. You're in front of so many people, but once you do it a few times, just like fuck it, like it's fine. People screw up. It's not a big deal.
Yeah. And that's the thing, you gotta have to be okay with the fact that it's scary.
Yep.
Why should it not be scary? It can be scary, and that's just fine.
Yeah.
If I didn't have those little butterflies in my stomach every time I went on stage, which I do have that every single time. If I didn't have that, I don't think I'd like it this much. I don't
Yeah.
think I really enjoy it. It would just be boring.
Yeah, definitely. And I'd go as far as to say that the scariness of it can be fun as well because it adds
Yeah.
just an element of excitement to it. Because otherwise, if you're doing the same mundane thing all the time, it gets boring. Whereas if there's these new emotions and these new feelings that get brought up from deep within that you don't usually have, then it's great
Hmm.
to really just have something new.
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean, how often do you get scared doing something? We you live your life and it's just pretty standard stuff and there's a lot of fun ups and downs, but to be able to do something different that we may stir up these emotions for, I think is a great
Yeah.
and I enjoy it, even though being scared shouldn't be enjoyed. It's just I enjoy the fact it's something else.
Exactly my point. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So let it be what it is. And if it is a scary thing, then just let it be that and say, fuck it, I'm going to do it anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Like, fuck it,
Yeah.
just do it. I love
Yeah.
it. Yeah, absolutely. And these are some great points. Like, it's just a case of once you're up there, just get it going. Practice makes perfect. Because for a lot of the
Mm,
audience that listens in live within the group, a lot may not necessarily do public speaking on a stage, but they are starting to do
no.
a lot of Facebook lives, which I think is still a public speaking forum because you're going live.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of people that are there, and it is very different because if you're sitting behind a screen, there's almost that element of security there. Whereas, if you're out in stage, you feel almost vulnerable because there isn't that there, and it's just the whole group.
Mhm.
So I prefer public speaking if there's a group there, but this is the forum I'm on, so this is
Yeah.
you kind of create your own space. So yeah, for a lot of people, they're still getting used to the differences in what to do, and like even with my hands here, like because of the camera, you can barely just you see kind of fingers, so that's it.
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah.
but yeah, like
Yeah.
I
You
I
have to
talk a lot
just
with
be
my
aware.
yeah self awareness of it
Yeah.
is a really important thing for sure.
Yeah, I've been doing quite a few Facebook lives in my group, presenters to storytellers, in my Facebook group, and I've then put them on YouTube.
Yeah,
And I was watching them back with a friend today, just watching the ends of all of them, and I'm just so awkward when I ask people to subscribe.
yeah.
I was watching them today, and every time I was like, "Yeah, you subscribe
Where
here somewhere."
uh,
But that's okay. That is me. I'm kind of quirky. I can be kind of, I have that. So that's fine.
yeah,
That's really, I find it super important to know who you are so that you can use that on stage and use that in your public speaking. So that's when I work with people, I always make them find out how they come across
Yeah,
so that they can use that to their advantage, because that is just so important. Yeah, okay. I come across a bit quirky sometimes.
yeah.
That's fine. That's me. Perfect.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And especially, when being, and in the public eye, then it's about us being unique. And so no one wants,
Mm.
oh, you want quirky, you want unique, it's just
Yeah.
the things. So it's fun. I tend to swear quite a bit in the shows, but I mean, that's just who I am,
Yeah.
I,
I don't do that ever.
I mean, look, when I will admit though, when I first started this, because the podcast only started in December, but we've done like close to 40 episodes already, so we're
Yeah.
just like powering through
You've
them.
been working like a
As,
dog, man.
this is just my side hustle. I don't even get paid for this. This is just, it's just so behind the
Yeah.
scenes. Don't even ask what goes on.
I won't.
But yeah, if you look at my first videos, it's very very different. In only a what was it like a 6 week or 2 month period or whatever it may be.
Mhm.
Yeah, shit, that would only be like or 2 and a bit months. Like it really is just a very different thing. Like some of the videos I do, they're almost cringeworthy in the fact I'm just like, ugh. Like, but it's about
Yeah.
practice and it's about getting used to what it is and coming back to my point of the whole swearing thing in the first ones, I kept it real, just tame. And even now, I'm still kind of coming out of my shell as such. Because me on camera and off camera are not two different people, but I can give a lot more. Yeah, but sometimes as well though is one thing that does hold me back is not on purpose. It's just with doing it live with a guest, the internet connection. If I speak, it then mutes them while they're speaking, and so sometimes in that regard, then I almost have to hold back purely for that because I don't want to cut them off and then they'd be muted
Yeah.
while they're making some fantastic points. So there's a lot of things still learning along the way, but if you're doing public speaking, it's really just practice makes perfect, and you'll kind of find your own
Oh,
way. And quirky is great. Quirky is perfect.
yeah. Yeah. That's the same with the anxiety or the stage fright or the, being nervous before going on stage.
Yep.
All your flaws, they can also just be there. That's one of the biggest lessons, really. Just be okay with everything that is there, all the feelings that are there. Okay, so you're quirky, or you're maybe nerdy, or you find it scary to look people in the eye, or any of those things. Just let that be there and use that to your advantage and find a way around it or find a way to play with that. That's
Exactly.
just super powerful. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's so important. So yeah, but this is fantastic. A lot of value here for everyone that's going to be listening at home. Things are not live,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, this is fantastic. So I was wondering, with coming back to the whole corporate space, so with living the laptop lifestyle, because that in itself, the digital nomad space is fantastic and something I've always been so fascinated with. And I mean, in essence, I'm doing the same thing. It's just I'm at home, but that opportunity to travel is there. And it's really something I found so interesting. So when it comes to working with corporate clients, how does that come about? Is it more, say, lead gen through Facebook ads, or more word of mouth, or did you have pre-existing clients and then from there they've helped with word of mouth, or how does that come about?
It's a lot of word of mouth still.
Cool.
Yeah, it's always been like that. Like I said, most of the 4 years that I've been working, I didn't even have a working website. So
Yep.
it was all just word of mouth. I have a working website now, but that's mainly just to refer people
Yep. Yeah, but that's
to the
fair enough.
website,
Whatever works.
rather than the other way around. So it's really, so I have a Facebook group now. I get a lot of interesting leads from there. That's working really well.
Beautiful.
And I'm just also pretty lucky that I'm really the only one doing this, as far as I know, within the remote community at least.
Yep.
I have not come across anyone who does what I do, nor someone who knows someone who does what I do.
Cool.
So that is, yeah, that's a big, big plus for me, that I'm not one of the 7 million copywriters or online marketeers who are very, useful, and I'm sure do a lot of really good business. But this is really what's helping me.
It's your passion. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
And
I can't stop
sorry.
talking about it.
Well, it's great. It's such an interesting topic, and it's such a valuable topic as well because, I'm big on if it, you said you've seen a few of the shows. I don't know if you've come across it, but I'm big on the whole. For 2018, you need a brand, you need a personal brand, and video is a
Yes.
big part of that. And even coming back to Facebook ads, they want you to do video. They make those ads or those, the pay per click cheaper for Facebook
Yeah.
video than images, just because video is what's trending. It's what's hot. It's what takes attention away from other competitors or other platforms. So video is such an important thing, and storytelling within video is so important. And
So important.
there's certainly, off the top of my head, I can think of quite a few, say, storytelling specialists. But the fact you're doing it as a nomad, a digital laptop lifestyle entrepreneur is just phenomenal. Like, that's such a unique point of difference.
Yeah.
And then you can help anyone in the world. And you don't have to necessarily be then and there to help them. You can do it, on Skype or on Facebook or wherever else, which is just phenomenal.
Yeah, I've been working with Colombians here, locals here. Medellin is a super entrepreneurial city, so
Cool.
there's a lot of really, really awesome young entrepreneurs here who I've been working with. And they wouldn't have found me in any other way. It's just, I've been super active in all different Facebook groups here. I've been organizing my events. So wherever I go now, if I go to a networking event, there's at least two people coming up to me. Oh, is that, yeah, are you the storyteller? So that
Nice.
just really helps. Being the only one and normally wearing a hat, which I'm not wearing today, but I'm almost always wearing a hat. So that makes me very recognizable as well.
Cool. Yep. Is it one of those huge hats just so people can see you in a crowd?
Yeah, like huge. It's like, Mexican sombrero style,
I
but
love
then pink with feathers. Yeah.
it. I've always wanted to get one of those. I don't know how hygienic it would be, but years ago, like I think like 15 years ago, I saw one on The Simpsons where Homer had, it was a nacho hat and he had dipping sauce at the center. I was like, that is a life goal right there.
Yeah. Yeah, that is. And then one side with dipping sauce and the other side with a beer can with a straw
Oh,
drilled straight to
you're
something
an
like that.
innovator. That is even better.
There you
I
go.
love it.
There you go. Just,
Yeah.
some free value from me to you.
Well, look, there's a new business idea. What we can do is I'm thinking maybe we can actually get a plastic so the nacho sauce doesn't, or the salsa doesn't drip through the actual hat. Maybe have a little plastic cup that we put
Yeah.
in the center that no one sees, and that one
Brilliant.
does stay hygienic.
Yeah. And
Yep,
sell this at football stadiums and stuff.
exactly. Perfect. We're on to something.
Yeah, yeah, we'll talk about this later. You better cut this out because otherwise people are going to steal this idea. You know it.
I love it. But that's awesome. So tell us about your group, because I mean that's something that is big in the online community, and Facebook are now changing that. They're pushing harder for groups and things like that.
Yeah.
And so coming across unique groups is really interesting. So I'd love to hear more about your group as well.
Yeah, I started a few weeks ago because basically I couldn't really find any good groups on public speaking or storytelling.
Yep.
So there are a few things, but it's not very focused, or I didn't really know what to do with it, or there wasn't really good content at all. So I really felt that there was there was a lack of that in the market.
Yep.
So I started the group Presenters to Storytellers for speakers and not yet speakers.
Is that the
Yeah,
title?
so that's a whole title. Yes,
I was like, oh my
yes.
god, that's so
You
long.
want to you want to cover it all, don't you, Ross?
Yeah.
I'm open for suggestions, though.
All right, we could.
Well,
Yeah. Well, if it's working, it's working. So yeah,
yeah,
don't.
presenters to
Yeah.
storytellers.
Yeah. Cool. That's perfect.
That's basically it. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, so I've been doing a lot of Facebook lives in that group, and what I've been doing is I've been analyzing existing stories. So I learned most from just watching other speakers, really good speakers or really shitty speakers,
Yep.
and see what they're doing, what is working, or what makes them fall flat on their face. So that's what I've learned most from.
Yeah.
And I have my theory is called the 5 ingredients of an intoxicating story, and all of that is just build up from watching all kinds of different presentations and talks, from
Beautiful.
things that I felt were lacking or things that I felt were absolutely amazing about it. So
Yeah.
that's what I've been doing in the group. I've been, analyzing Tony Robbins, Elon Musk, Oprah Winfrey, all kinds of different speakers, and just pointing out in the Facebook lives, showing little clips of those TED talks or those presentations or speeches, and just pointing out to people what they could learn from that, and what those speakers, what kinds of techniques they're using, what kinds of structures, what kinds of plots, how they're using storytelling. So I hope that people are learning a lot from that, or I've been hearing that they're learning a lot from that, and
Yeah. Nice.
I think so, because I've learned so much from that as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then, you know, a little few blog posts here and there, obviously, but
Cool.
yeah, just been sharing a lot of stuff, sharing a lot of value in that group.
Well, that's great. And that's the thing, watching, not necessarily mimicking what people do, but watching the top end performers and doing what they do and then utilizing that and leveraging it to basically do your own thing is just so important
Yeah.
because they know how to do it. They know how to do it really, really well. And that's why they're, the top 1%. So to be able to watch what they do and utilize some of their skills and abilities just through, learned, skills, I guess, if you want to call it that, then,
Yeah.
it's so good to do. Because I mean, one thing I need to do, and I don't just because I really need to find the time to do it, but it's kind of watching the gameplay videos and like these, I don't sit and reconsume my content. So I really
Okay. Yeah.
need to audit myself because I'm big on auditing myself in many different things. It's just in the whole, video aspect, I haven't really done that purely just because if I'm doing an hour and then I watch it, then there's 2 hours of my day gone, which is
Mm-hmm.
a big chunk. So
Yeah.
I know I need to do it. It's just I'm putting my hand up saying, yeah, look, it hasn't happened.
No, no, it is super useful to watch yourself. It is very painful most of the time, just because it's
Yeah,
ourselves, not because it's necessarily bad what we're doing. It's just very awkward to watch yourself for
definitely.
most people.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
But it is, watching other people as well. That's just super helpful. And I've been doing this for years and years and years. So I, by now, know the different techniques that are behind that. So that's what I love sharing with people, because if they go look into all those different talks themselves, of course they can learn from it, but they won't really know what kinds of skills or what kinds of techniques are behind it necessarily.
Yeah,
So yeah, I'm really excited to share that with everyone. So the things that I've been accumulating over years and years. Yeah.
yeah, fantastic. So, but I guess for everyone that is listening in at home, or whether it's on iTunes or within the Facebook group or on Android,
Yeah.
how is it that they get a hold of you so that you can help them with their business?
Yeah, just contact me directly or through the Facebook group. Through a Facebook group is probably the easiest way. Presenters to storytellers.
Yep.
Yeah, and then my company is called the Story Clinic, so you can find me through that on YouTube or on Facebook as well.
Yeah, awesome. All
And
right.
yeah,